Hey YouTube, hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Guys, today's video is for everyone who is there in this community, and this is a video because it's very important, because this is for all the investors who wants to learn active investing and they want to do it in a safe manner, right? So in this channel we talk a lot about passive investing, why Nifty 50 or म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर द बेस्ट फॉर यू. बट एक चीज़ का जो आपको ध्यान रखना है वो ये कि आपको इसको किस टाइम पे बाय करना है. तो हम टाइमिंग की बहुत ज़्यादा बात करते हैं इस चैनल पे. तो लास्ट वीडियो में हमने देखा था जब अर्निंग्स लो चल रही हों निफ्टी 50 की, और जब P/E ऑफ निफ्टी 50 लो चल रहा हो लेस देन 21 and earnings should also be low, that is the time to buy, right? बट इस वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे कि आप इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक्स का एक कौन सा अप्रोच है जो मैं खुद भी यूज़ करता हूँ और आप भी सोच सकते हैं. बाय द वे, दिस इज़ नॉट एन इन्वेस्टमेंट एडवाइस इन एनी वे, सो डोंट कंसिडर इट एज एन इन्वेस्टमेंट एडवाइस. इट्स फॉर लर्निंग पर्पसेस ओनली. I want to keep a disclaimer, right? But this is something which I have learned from this great book by this great investor called Joel Greenblatt, who has done us all a big favor by writing this book. So Joel Greenblatt, this guy is one of the highest performing fund managers in US. He's founder of the hedge fund called Gotham Capital. और इनका रिकॉर्ड रहा है कि इन्होंने लास्ट 50 इन्होंने वॉरेन बफेट से बहुत ज़्यादा हाई रिटर्न अपने फंड में जनरेट किया है, अराउंड 40%, राइट, ओवर द लास्ट 30-40 ईयर्स. सो इट इज़ वेरी हाई रिटर्न. नाउ इन्होंने कैसे किया, व्हाट इज़ दिस मैजिक फार्मूला? सो मैजिक फार्मूला बेसिकली एक फार्मूला है जो आप सिंपली अप्लाई कर सकते हैं और आप स्टॉक्स को बाय कर सकते हैं. और आपको जो एक अर्ज होती है ना कि आपको स्टॉक्स का गेम भी सीखना है, इसको यूज़ करके आप बहुत प्रॉफिटेबल तरीके से इसको अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. वेल, आई एम नॉट प्रॉमिसिंग एनी प्रॉफिटेबल और एनीथिंग, इट्स जस्ट द लॉजिक एंड यू अंडरस्टैंड द लॉजिक, एंड इफ यू फील लाइक इट यू कैन टेस्ट इट आउट. Simple as that. So what magic formula says is you have to consider two things while, and this basically applies on small cap companies, right? So that's why it generates high returns. So what magic formula says is you have to consider two things: return on capital for last 1 year, right? This metric will show how good the business is, and earnings yield, which is reverse of P/E ratio. अगर आप P/E ratio को उल्टा कर दोगे, फ्लिप कर दोगे, बट बेसिकली अर्निंग्स बाय प्राइस, दिस इज अर्निंग्स यील्ड. मतलब ₹1 देके आपको कितनी अर्निंग हो रही है, ठीक है, दिस इज अर्निंग्स यील्ड. सो अगेन, the higher the earnings yield, the better the company is, and the cheaper the company is, right? Because it's ulta of price to earnings ratio. So the lower the P/E ratio, the cheaper the company is, and the higher the earnings yield, which is higher the earning you're generating per rupee invested, the cheaper the company is, right? So you have to consider these two things, right? So this basically ensures the business is good, and this basically ensures the business is cheap. Now what the magic formula says, right? And what magic formula says is you use any screener. You can use screener.in, which I use, or you can also use any other screener like this one more. I think it's called Ticker Tape, right? So you use any screener and you give this criteria that you want the stocks to be ranked in the reverse order for earnings, in the descending order for earnings yield and ROCE, return on capital, for the last 1 year, right? So you'll get a list, and one criteria you have to use that these have to be the small cap companies. So the market cap should be less than 1000 crores. ठीक है. Now this makes it very high potential. Now you have to rank these companies. So screener will give you a list of, let's say, 100 or 150 companies. Now what you have to do is you have to select top 30 of these, top 30, right? One more thing what you have to do is you have to rank them. So for example, this ROCE 1, 2, 3, right? This is the ranking because the highest ROS company is coming at first, while the similar is for the earnings yield 1, 2, 3, right? And just sum this. So this is the combined rank. So this and this equals to 2, right? Now this and this equals to 4. So basically it goes on to say this is already in descending order, so it's gonna be this criteria, and these days screeners are advanced, so you can give multiple criteria, meaning you can give ROS and ER in one, so you'll get one list. So you don't have to do this individually. If you're doing it without a screener, you can do this manually, but screener will give you this, right? And I can demonstrate to you in my next video. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to show you how I do it on the computer, right? Now once you have this descending list based on earnings yield and ROS, just go ahead and buy these 30 companies and start with like something like 40-50,000. I personally have like quite a bit of lakhs in this portfolio, and buy these 30 companies. Now by doing this, what you have ensured, you have bought good businesses, and you have bought them cheap, man. Right? And Joel Greenblatt has back tested this in US, and it has generated very, very high returns, close to 45 to 50%. That's what he says in the book, right? And for more than 30-40 years. So it might happen that some years your return will not be high depending on the market condition, but the subsequent years will match up for it. So let's say if for some years your return is like 5%, the following years it can go up to like 30, 40, 50%, right? Now this is the best formula which I think you can have to compound your wealth, your initial wealth, at a very high rate. And that's why all these guys like Monish Pabrai, right, Warren Buffett, initially they were doing small cap games similar to this. They were buying businesses good and cheap, and these days with screener and all the technology existing, we can very easily screen things. And that's why they say that building your initial capital is very easy, but people don't do it, they just ignore. Stay away from leverage trades, stay away from options trading. Build a corpus if you can, and use this approach as you can try this. And this is not an investment advice by any means. This is something which I have tried with a very small capital, like 30,000 rupees, and it has done like remarkably well for me. But your results are yours. But this is an approach which you should consider to compound your wealth. So how I would say you do it: don't do it for all your money. Never do it for all your money. Like if you're like making 1 lakh salary and you're investing like 40% of it, 40,000 of it, right? Then invest majority of it in index and mutual funds by using the approach which I told you before, by basically weighing the economy when it is cheap or expensive. Accordingly take your positions, and for some portion of your money make a sum. So for example, 30,000 if you're investing, keep collecting 10,000, or use this 10,000 to buy these 30 companies. Wait for a year and see how it performs. Then again after 1 year, just sell these and remake that list and reinvest. So keep doing it, keep changing it every year. By this way, you are actively involved in investing in individual stocks, and you are making a lot of money, and you are applying logic. Good thing is you're buying good businesses at reasonable rates. Good businesses at very reasonable rates. So I hope you like this video. If you liked it, do give it a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel if you're new here. This is a great approach. I love it, and I love the fund manager, and this brilliant book has done a great service to a lot of us. A little book that beats the market. If possible, try to read this book, guys. It will change your fundamentals. This is one practical book I have come across in the stock market, using which you can take action right away. Alright, thanks again for watching the video, guys. I will see you again in the next one. Till then, take care, bye bye. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. A lot of amazing content which any common investor can apply to learn investing I share on this channel. Bye bye.